Have you ever paused for a moment and asked yourself, what will life look like if I end up growing old alone? For many people, this isn't just a passing thought. It's a quiet reality that settles in after the kids move away, old friends pass on, and the daily hustle softens into silence. It's not something we often prepare for. After all, no one plans to be alone in their later years. Yet here it is, quiet mornings, long afternoons, and evenings that seem to echo. But here's the truth. Solitude in old age doesn't have to feel like a sentence. In fact, it can become a time of incredible growth, reflection, and even joy, if you know how to nurture the right habits. In today's video, we're not going to just talk about how to pass the time. We're diving into 6 intentional things you can do each day that will lift your spirit, sharpen your mind, and bring meaning back into your everyday life. These aren't complicated strategies or expensive routines. They're simple, doable actions that help you reclaim your purpose, reconnect with others, and rediscover joy. Whether you're newly retired, living on your own, or simply navigating a quieter phase of life, this video is for you. Stick with me until the end, because each point builds on the next, and together they just might change the way you look at aging. Let's begin this journey, not in fear of being alone, but in the power of building a fulfilling life on your own terms. 1. Establish a daily routine. One of the most grounding things you can do in your later years is create a steady, meaningful routine. Not a rigid schedule filled with chores, but a gentle rhythm to your day that gives you a sense of purpose and keeps time from slipping through your fingers. After retirement or following the loss of a spouse, many people find their days start to blur. With fewer obligations, it's easy to wake up with no plan, only to end the day wondering where the time went. This lack of structure can quietly lead to feelings of boredom, isolation, and even depression. But here's the good news. You have the power to shape your day. Every single day. Start simple. Wake up at the same time each morning. Open the windows. Make your bed. Brew your favorite coffee. Small, familiar actions signal to your brain that the day has begun and that you have things to look forward to. Consider adding a few daily anchors. A morning walk around the neighborhood, lunch at the same time each day, a short afternoon phone call with a friend or relative, or a 10-minute journaling session before bed. These predictable touch points help create stability, especially when life around you feels uncertain. It's not about being busy, it's about being intentional. Take inspiration from Robert, a retired engineer who found himself drifting after his wife passed. Once he started penciling in a loose schedule, morning walks, light meals, crossword puzzles, and weekly calls with his daughter, he felt more like himself again. His days had shape, his mind had clarity. If you're unsure where to start, write down just 3 things you want to do each day. 1 for your body, 1 for your mind, and 1 for your heart. For example, stretch for 10 minutes, read a chapter from a book, and call someone you care about. These small actions, repeated daily, help you reclaim a sense of control and, more importantly, joy. Because the truth is, a routine isn't just about filling the hours. It's about honoring each day as a gift and making sure you're truly living, not just passing time. 2. Prioritize physical movement. As we age, it's easy and sometimes tempting to slow down. Maybe your joints creak a little more than they used to, or your energy dips earlier in the day. But here's the truth. The less we move, the harder it becomes to keep moving. Staying physically active is not about training for a marathon. It's about maintaining your strength, independence, and quality of life, one step at a time. Even light, consistent movement can be transformational. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. A short walk around the block, gentle stretching in the living room, or even standing and sitting from a sturdy chair a few times a day can keep your muscles working and your joints flexible. Why does this matter so much? Because mobility equals freedom. Being able to climb the stairs, get up from a chair, or carry your own groceries is what allows you to live life on your terms. Movement helps preserve your balance, supports bone density, and reduces the risk of falls, which are a serious concern for many seniors. Take Eleanor, for example. A retired librarian who used to spend hours reading, but noticed she was getting stiff and tired more easily. She began doing 10-minute morning stretches and walking with a neighbor 3 times a week. Not only did her posture improve, but she also reported sleeping better and feeling more energized throughout the day. Exercise doesn't just benefit the body, it's also one of the best tools we have to protect the brain. Regular movement improves blood flow to the brain, sharpens focus, and has been shown to reduce the risk of cognitive decline. If you're just starting, begin with something easy. Walk for 5 minutes after breakfast. Stretch your arms and shoulders while watching TV. Do light chores like folding laundry while standing up. What matters most is consistency, not intensity. In many ways, motion is medicine. It keeps the body strong, the mind clear, and the spirit uplifted. And the more you move, the more capable and confident you'll feel, day by day, step by step. 3. Stay socially connected. One of the quietest dangers of aging isn't illness, it's isolation. When friends move away, loved ones pass on, and social invitations grow fewer, it's easy to slip into a pattern of being alone more often than not. But there's a major difference between enjoying solitude and feeling cut off from the world around you. Human connection isn't just nice to have, it's essential to our mental and emotional well-being. In fact, studies have found that chronic loneliness can be just as damaging to your health as smoking or obesity. That's why making a conscious effort to stay socially engaged is one of the best things you can do for your overall wellness. Social interaction doesn't have to mean big events or crowded gatherings. It's the small, everyday connections that matter most. A 5-minute chat with your neighbor, a phone call to your son or daughter, or even saying hello to someone at the grocery store can lift your spirits and remind you that you're still part of something bigger. Let's take Frank, for instance, a widower in his 80s who spent months alone, convinced he didn't want to bother his busy kids. Eventually, he joined a local chess group that met every Thursday at the library. That one weekly interaction became a turning point. He made new friends, rekindled old interests, and felt genuinely seen again. In today's world, staying connected is easier than ever. If mobility is a challenge, technology offers alternatives: video calls, online book clubs, or even social media groups tailored for older adults. It may feel intimidating at first, but don't let unfamiliar tools keep you from meaningful contact. And if you don't have many people around, try volunteering. Join a faith-based community. Attend local senior center events. The goal isn't quantity, it's quality. Just 1 or 2 meaningful interactions a day can shift your mood, give you something to look forward to, and even improve cognitive health. The bottom line is this: connection brings vitality. It helps you feel valued, remembered, and needed. And no matter your age, those feelings never stop being important. 4. Keep your mind stimulated. While it's common to accept that the body slows down with age, many people also believe the mind must follow. But the truth is, your brain craves stimulation at any age. Just like muscles weaken when unused, your cognitive abilities can dull if not regularly engaged. The good news? Keeping your mind sharp doesn't require a college degree or complex brain games. It's about staying curious, trying new things, and giving your brain reasons to light up every single day. Start with something that genuinely interests you. Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to paint, speak Spanish, or play the piano. Even small efforts, like doing a crossword puzzle with your morning coffee or reading a few pages of a biography before bed, can make a real difference. Take Janet, a retired school teacher who noticed she was becoming forgetful and mentally foggy. Instead of brushing it off, she began dedicating just 20 minutes a day to learning something new. She signed up for a virtual history course through her local community college and began journaling again. Within weeks, she felt more focused, more engaged, and, most importantly, more confident in herself. You see, the brain thrives on novelty and challenge. Whether it's learning a new card game, listening to an educational podcast, or even rearranging your furniture, each new experience forms fresh neural pathways that help keep your mind flexible and alert. And let's not forget the emotional benefits. Mental engagement reduces the risk of depression and gives you a deeper sense of fulfillment. It adds spark to your conversations and gives you something to look forward to. If screens or technology feel overwhelming, go old school. Pull out a jigsaw puzzle, write letters to friends, or revisit a hobby you once loved but haven't practiced in years. The key is to stay mentally active, not passive. Instead of letting the television drone on in the background, choose to interact with the world around you. Remember, a curious mind is a vibrant mind. And just like the body, the more you exercise it, the more it rewards you with energy, clarity, and joy. Practice gratitude and reflection. As we get older, it's easy to focus on what we've lost, whether it's people, opportunities, or the energy we once had. But one of the most powerful tools we have to shift our mindset is the simple yet transformative act of gratitude. Gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging the good that still exists, even when life feels hard. A warm cup of tea in the morning, the laughter of a grandchild on the phone, or the feel of sunlight through the window. These small moments, when noticed, become powerful reminders that life still holds beauty. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience less stress, better sleep, and a more positive outlook overall. And the best part? It doesn't cost a dime and takes just a few minutes a day. One of the easiest ways to start is with a gratitude journal. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be profound. In fact, the more ordinary, the better. It trains your mind to find joy in the everyday. Take George, a retired firefighter who struggled with loneliness after losing his wife. He began each day by jotting down a few things he appreciated: his morning walk, the scent of fresh coffee, or a memory that made him smile. Over time, this habit helped ease his grief and refocus his attention on what still made life worth living. Alongside gratitude, make time for quiet reflection. Whether it's through prayer, meditation, or simply sitting outside and observing nature, reflection allows you to reconnect with yourself. It's a space to breathe, process, and release the mental clutter that can build up throughout the day. You don't have to be a spiritual person to reflect. Just a few minutes of stillness can reduce anxiety, improve clarity, and restore a sense of calm. When combined, gratitude and reflection become daily anchors, reminding you that while you may not control everything, you can control how you see the world. And the more you practice seeing the good, the more good you begin to notice. 6. Find a way to help others. One of the most overlooked sources of happiness in later life isn't what you receive, it's what you give. When you reach out to help someone else, even in a small way, you not only lift their spirits, you also restore your own sense of meaning and purpose. It's easy to assume that helping others requires grand gestures or physical strength, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Whether you offer a kind word to someone at the pharmacy, check on a neighbor, volunteer an hour a week, or share your wisdom with someone younger, every act of kindness makes a ripple. As we get older, many of us wonder, do I still matter? The answer is yes, and one of the fastest ways to prove that to yourself is by becoming a source of support for someone else. Take Margaret, an 82-year-old former nurse who felt invisible after retiring. She began volunteering once a week at a local food pantry. Over time, she formed friendships, reignited her sense of usefulness, and felt like she was contributing again, not just observing life from the sidelines. You don't have to leave home to make a difference. Write a heartfelt letter to someone you've lost touch with. Mentor a young person through an online program. Send homemade cards to veterans or new moms through nonprofit initiatives. Even just calling to check in on someone who might also be feeling lonely can be a powerful act of service. The act of giving does something beautiful. It shifts your focus away from what you lack and toward what you can offer. And that perspective alone can be deeply healing. Giving doesn't diminish you, it enriches you. It reminds you that your life, your time, and your experience still hold incredible value. And in helping others feel seen, you also remind yourself that you are still very much needed. So if you're ever feeling disconnected or unsure of your role in this season of life, try this simple remedy. Give a little of yourself. You may be surprised at how much you receive in return. Aging alone doesn't mean your life has to feel empty or isolated. In fact, this chapter, though quieter, can be one of your most meaningful yet. What truly makes the difference isn't your circumstances, but the choices you make each day. Establishing a simple routine, staying physically active, keeping your mind sharp, connecting with others, practicing gratitude and offering kindness, these aren't just good habits. They are powerful, life-affirming acts that remind you still have purpose, value, and so much to offer. You don't need to change everything overnight. In truth, one small shift at a time is all it takes to begin feeling more grounded, more joyful, and more connected. Maybe it starts with a 5-minute stretch in the morning, a phone call in the afternoon, or a short note of thanks before bed. What matters is consistency and heart. There will always be seasons of loss, stillness, and uncertainty, but that doesn't mean you're without direction. These daily actions are like stepping stones, gently guiding you back to yourself and back to the present moment. So ask yourself today, which one of these 6 habits speaks to me most right now? Begin there. Let that single choice open the door to many more. Because even when you're on your own, you are never truly alone. Not when you live each day with intention, self-respect, and kindness toward yourself and others. Thank you for spending this time with us. If you found these insights helpful, consider sharing them with someone else who might need a little encouragement too. We'll see you in the next video.